Breaking bread with my mama, breaking bread with my papa, breaking bread. Breaking bread with my brother, breaking bread with my sister, breaking bread. Today's special is Memphis Soul Stew. We sell so much of this, people wonder what we put in it. We're gonna tell you right now.
Get yourself some digital scales. Nothing else is accurate enough. You need bowls to get ready for the dough. A narrower bowl is better because it supports the dough more. If you put it in a huge one like this, with the size of the recipe I'm going to make, it might lose a bit of strength. But you need a big bowl to actually make the dough together. Yeast. Firstly, you want to get the yeast nicely dissolved in the water. Avoid using something like a metal spoon. I've no idea why, but apparently using metal,
it takes the properties.
Doesn't like it.
Takes the properties away from the yeast.
Okay. And as a little tip, I add a tiny bit of flour because the yeast is going to wake up with food and warmth.
It's like an appetizer for the yeast.
Yeah, it's like an amuse-bouche. So this is the bowl that I'm going to eventually put the dough in. I use oil because I'm going to use flour later on the board. And if you keep adding flour, you're changing the recipe. You need to do this now rather than later.
Yeah.
Because your hands are going to be covered with flour soon.
Right.
For this bread, I'm going to do a 50-50 loaf. I grind salt. I don't know why.
Just carry on.
Okay.
But as long as we've established that.
Take two. Take two. This is salt. This is not flour. It's very obvious. For a 500 gram loaf, you need 10 grams of salt. See, now this just isn't enough for another week.
Right.
So fuck it.
Now beat well.
Clear a space.
You measured flour, yeast, which we've kept in the warm room, which
Check.
feels still nice and warm.
Check.
And then we've got our dissolved salt and oil, which is still warm. So everything is warm, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And then you've got your oiled bowl ready. There's one other thing we need. You need an open bag of flour. Because if you do need to chuck a bit of flour in, or if you need a bit of water to adjust the dough to get it to the way you feel, you don't need to open cupboards and make an absolute mess in your kitchen. And then the other thing we need is the starter.
Now the starter is something we'll have to explain on another video.
I always feel like I should add this first.
Right. Well, you put the starter yeast in, so you might as well.
Yeah, so give it a good shake. As you're shaking it, by the way, you're adding oxygen. That feels quite heavy, so I'm going to add a dash of water. So you've still got one clean hand. So at this stage, the kneading, I start off just by getting it into a bit of a ball. Now you're going to stretch it out. So the idea of kneading is to stretch out the gluten that's within the bread. And that's literally, you can spread out like this. And that's why it's good if it's sticky, because it stays where it is. Roll it back up again, bring it into a ball, and then stretch it out again.
Keep on spreading your rubber band now.
While Pete's doing that, why not make a pot of coffee?
There's two things you can do to test. Firstly, if you can make it into a ball, and then use this kind of technique to tighten the skin of it. When you press down, right, you can see it's beginning to spring back. So that means that the glutens are developing.
Yeah, you need a test.
You can stretch it out to the point where you can start to see light through it.
Oh yeah.
You alright?
Oh yeah.
No, it's beginning to break.
It's too close.
Right, so it's nearly there, but not quite.
Keep on spreading
Just
Let's
pause
see.
where we can look at that. That's looking good.
So
No
right-
breakage.
No breakage.
Yeah.
And you can keep going, you can keep going. This is now really well developed dough.
I need more time for my.
You want to be careful not to over knead it though.
Oh.
If you over knead it, you'll get additional breakages. You'll stretch the gluten's too much.
Oh.
So you got to be. That's why you got to
It's a fine line.
continually, yeah,
Take it to the limit.
exactly. So this for me feels good. So at this point, you want to make sure you kind of shape it into a ball in our bowl. We're now going to cling film over it. You want to push in the cling film a bit because you don't want to create such a vacuum that it won't rise. That's actually touching the dough. So you want to just above, okay? Because that's going to come out like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, can't
Once,
wait.
yeah, it's going to be bulbous like that.
Wow, can't wait.
That's doing its thing.
Right, so that leads us on to
Things to do.
forget about the bread.
Read a book. Play the piano. Play some guitar. Watch TV. Record some music. Do that. Play words with friends. Make lunch.
You piece of shit.
Talk to your houseplants nicely. Cat Wars 2014. Have a bath or a shit. Spy on your neighbors.
Make margaritas, tequila, triple sec, lime juice, ice, mixer.
Oh, yeah.
I just realized we didn't salt the glasses.
Ah, fuck it.
Shake, shake, shake.
Cocktails.
Shake your body like
More cocktails.
shake, shake, senora. Shake it all the time.
Definitely the best way to forget about the bread.
Absolutely.
I'm rolling down the stairs, too drunk to fuck.
By the way, I think we told you. It's 1 portion of tequila, 3/4 of triple sec curacao, and 3/4 of lime, just so you know. Lots of ice. And don't get it anywhere near a blender. Sorry, back to the bread.
And 2 bags of crisps. Now this one we're going to turn it out and we're going to knock it back. This is my peel. This is what I'm going to use to transfer the dough onto my baking stone. And when you put the dough on it, it gives you very good bottom heat and helps the dough rise. It's a gas oven. Actually, I've cleaned this oven so many times. I don't know what the temperature is. Everything is cleaned off it. All I know is I want it at full whack.
And you don't have OCD?
I never said that. The second tool that you will use at this stage is polenta. Polenta, this looks a bit weird because
That actually surprises me.
well, I'm not going to cook with this.
No, but I had no idea.
Polenta is, it's like sand.
Uh-huh.
It will just allow the dough to move on the peel.
That's what the ancient Egyptians used to move the stones for the pyramids.
Basically, yeah. Cocktails. So this is it double in size. So the first thing we do is we wet it, and the next thing is to slash the dough. But do it with confidence. Don't fanny around or you'll mess it up. That's about, let's make a fourth one there. That's about right. Quickly, that's telling me it's coming about 270. That's about right.
some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter.
2014.